Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Mad Rares with Merlini. My predictions have been a little bit off as of late, so bet at your own risk and beware. But if you don't like my predictions, you can simply bet against me. So moving on to the first matchup for the day, we have Nexon Invitational Super Match, a LAN in Korea best of three Alliance versus DK. Both of the teams faced off versus FOU, previously known as FXO, and Alliance just dominated them. DK won, but I wouldn't say dominated them. And I think that people are slightly underrating DK in this matchup. If I had to put odds on it, I would say like 63-37 in favor of Alliance. Neither team has been the most consistent lately. Alliance dropped a best of three versus Rock's Kiss, a best of one versus EG, and they also lost to Navi. Meanwhile, DK dropped a game versus Rattlesnake. It was 1-1 in a best of two. Rattlesnake also lost to Hearts yesterday. That's worth noting. And they've had losses to several other teams, including LGD, China, Vici, and Tongfu. Odds should probably be around 2-1. Alliance is really strong at land, though, so probably bump that up a little bit. However, I think that DK is better at playing against teams who use a lot of 6.78 playstyle / heroes. And they are very poor at drafting, I'd say, in early game reaction. Both things I think Alliance are good at. So I think people are still slightly underrating DK, but I'll wait until the odds settle to make a final decision. This one is a very difficult bet to make. The next one that we have is PR versus VP in the Tech Labs Cup. So PR was an underdog versus Empire yesterday. I believe it was 76-24. And these odds are pretty justified considering VP is a weaker team than Empire, especially after Empire beat out Navi yesterday in a 2-1 in a best of three. PR looked pretty good versus Empire. I think Empire looked a lot stronger in the Navi matchup than they did versus PR. PR actually took a set of Rex, or a T3 actually, versus Empire, and they were very close to taking a Rex too. And Empire, I was scared for them in the second game. So I think that PR has a small chance of taking this, but I would actually put it closer to 70-30. PR has very poor decision making in the early mid game, although their draft and their execution actually during fights is pretty good. I think VP is just going to take them by storm in the early game, just 5-man them early, outgank them, and then it's going to be very difficult for PR to recover. So I'll be betting at VP on these odds. I expect the odds to change though. So the next two that we have are the WPC Ace League, the best of twos. And first one is LGDN versus WPCA. WPCA is the worst team in the league. It's pretty safe bet betting on LGDN if you want that very small return of 0.3 rares. It's probably actually not worth betting at those odds, but if it goes up to like 0.5, I'll probably consider placing it, but 0.3, why even bother? WPCA has to win twice in a row for you to lose your rares, so take that as you will. If you like betting on heavy favorites, that's the matchup for you. Next one that we have is Tongfu versus Rattlesnake. I'm definitely going with Tongfu on this because Rattlesnake lost versus Hearts yesterday. And Hearts is like not the worst team in the world, but it was kind of like a rage GG after Rattlesnake lost like 5 heroes and Spectre got a few kills. So I think it was a preemptive GG, but they were definitely on tilt yesterday, and I don't see Tongfu losing this 0-2. So my odds are on this are probably like 86-14 in favor of Tongfu. The next two that we have are best of threes. First one is D2L, EG versus Fnatic. So this matchup was actually played yesterday in the Pro League, Natalic Pro League, and EG were pretty heavy underdogs, 66-34 in favor of Fnatic, but EG actually won 2-0. And EG have been on quite the streak lately, and it looks like EG are slight favorites here. They're actually better favorites than I expected. It's probably around 55-45 looking at the rare return rate. It's definitely not a heads up, or a coin flip rather. So I think EG should be the slight favorite. I'd say like 54-46 in favor of EG. EG 2-0 them yesterday, and Fnatic looked in decent form today, even though they lost versus Liquid. They were very close to beating Liquid in the second game, and they just looked a lot stronger than they have been, especially the previous day or 2 days ago or whatever, when they lost to Liquid, EG, and VP. So I mean, Fnatic have been in a slump lately. They're still searching for like playstyle and a hero pool that fits them well. They've been using Invoker a lot. Sometimes it works out well for them, sometimes it doesn't. It's still a very, very close matchup. EG has been more consistent and versatile. If it stays at these odds, if it stays at like 55-45, I still don't know who I'm going to choose. But if it's 50-50, I'll definitely be betting on EG. And if EG is the underdog, I'll definitely be betting on them. So last but not least, we have Speed versus EG. I'm going to be watching EG Fnatic before I bet on this because I need to evaluate EG's performance. Speed 2-0'd them last time and kind of crushed them. Speed's been on a pretty good roll lately, and they have a very strong lineup. I think most of their roster consists of very fantastic players. But EG has been surprising everybody lately. I think some people have been losing a lot of rares on them, betting on them when they're heavy underdogs. But you can't underrate EG. I think that the odds are probably slightly skewed towards Speed right now. It should probably be maybe like 60-40 in favor of Speed now. But if EG just gets crushed by Fnatic, or if they absolutely dominate Fnatic EU, we'll see how this one matches up. So I'll be waiting for the odds to settle. Again, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Mad Rares with Merlini. Bet responsibly. I know I do. And last but not least, if you like my videos, you can follow me at youtube.com/MerliniDota, as well as Twitter and Facebook/MerliniDota for updates. Thanks Dota2 Lounge for putting my video up. And yeah, make sure you follow at Dota2 Lounge on Twitter too. Good luck with your rares, guys.